I do love I think you're right. The music cues were great. I love the fact that they call them George and Ringo, and then they do On Our Way Home.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little on the nose, but it's kind of perfect.
Now, what do you think of that weird Beatles mixtape that Ethan Hawke made the kid in the Boyhood movie?
I liked it.
I was going to say, I almost feel like looking up the playlist and just listening to it to see if what he's talking about really flows,
Welcome to Season 4 of Talking Pondo. Talking Pondo is a podcast where Clif and Marty give each other a film to watch and talk about them in detail. Some episodes will include a special guest.
"12 Years in Texas" will not be seen this week, so we may bring you 12 Years in Space, already in progress. Hello, Cliff.
Hello, buddy. What are you doing?
Oh, see, I'm figuring out a new way to introduce each other without saying our name. I'm just to say hello to you, right?
Hello, Marty.
We're back again. It's Talking Pondo. It feels like forever for recording, but you heard us last week, so
That's right. You don't know that we record these in weird orders and out of sequence. It just sounds all natural to you.
Yeah, you don't understand the struggle.
Struggle is real.
When you record things in advance, and well, it's kind of like today's movies in a way. What are today's films?
Today's movies are Boyhood and Project Hail Mary.
That's right. Doing some epics today.
Whew, man. Yeah. What was that? 7.5 hours of my life last week?
Oh, at least. We do have a little bit of listener mail we can kick things off with here.
Hit me with it. Some of our usual Den of Thieves hitting us up.
Yeah, we'll do that one. The usual. So
the usual shenanigans.
Last stop in Yuma County in Streets of Fire. We got Joe Palmer writes in and says, "Ooh, Streets of Fire, my all-time favorite movie soundtrack. The movie is okay, but that soundtrack, love it to bits."
Oh, okay. So he must be a big Meatloaf fan then.
Oh, okay. I keep forgetting about the Meatloaf connection to Streets of Fire.
Joe, keep glowing like the metal on the edge of a knife, sir.
Or Streets of Water in the short that we posted that has gotten well over 1,000 views. It's our most successful short. So
really? We got 1,000 views on a short?
Yeah,
that's like ridiculous.
1,300. Still going as of the time of this recording.
Look at us.
Hopefully they'll come over and listen to the full episode.
That'd be great. And then while you're here, smash that like and subscribe button.
Right.
Woohoo! Sorry, had to.
Like, smash, subscribe. Something
smash, subscribe, like.
Smash Burger. And you told me that Smash Mouth was in one of these movies, and you were just joking.
Oh my God. What else? You got any other mail?
I want to. So we have mail for the next episode. Don't want to bring them all through. So
sure.
That one. And we normally let the guest decide, but there is no guest unless you count you, the listener, as a guest.
Listener at home.
So listener, what do you want to start with? I guarantee you have 50-50 chance of being right.
What's that, listener? What is it? We should go in chronological order?
Yeah. You want us to do Boyhood first?
I guess so. I mean, we could do Project Hail Mary first if you just want to tell the audience to just... I mean, we can delay that gratification, I could probably use the practice anyways in this digital age.
Yeah, either way is totally fine with me. So, as a child, did you ever have a haircut that you hated? What is Boyhood?
Boyhood, rated R from 2014, 2 hours and 45 minutes, written and directed by Richard Linklater, stars Eller Coltrane, Patricia Arquette, Ethan Hawke. Is there a log line for this one? The life of Mason from early childhood to his arrival at college. Storyline. Filmed over 12 years with the same cast, Richard Linklater's Boyhood is a groundbreaking story of growing up as seen through the eyes of a child named Mason, who literally grows up on screen before our eyes. Starring Ethan Hawke and Patricia Arquette as Mason's parents and newcomer Lorelai Linklater as his sister Samantha, Boyhood charts the rocky terrain of childhood like no other film has before. Snapshots of adolescence, from road trips and family dinners to birthdays and graduations, and all the moments in between become transcendent, set to a soundtrack spinning the ears from Coldplay's Yellow to Arcade Fire's Deep Blue. Boyhood is both a nostalgic time capsule of the recent past and an ode to growing up and parenting.
See, I did good. I didn't say one word. I'm controlling myself here.
I appreciate you, brother. Thanks so much.
Trying to refine every week a little bit further. You know?
See, look at me with self-control. Opening with Coldplay is not a great sign.
I'm gonna say we're gonna start at the beginning. Say what you will about the song, it is that year. It is the 02. It's the beginning. It was new at that time, and so it does have the feel of that time period. But what I thought was more interesting than the song is the opening shot. Both of the movies today kind of start at the beginning of life in a way, the opening shot of the movie. The other movie is the graphic, you're waking up from cryo sleep kind of beginning of your life. And this one, when I see the kid laying in the grass, staring off into the sky, and everything is kind of peaceful for a moment, it reminds me of like the earliest memories of life, right before life grabs you by the hand and pulls you off and shit starts going. There's that moment where you're just a kid, and it's just you laying in the grass, staring off into the sky with your own kid thoughts before life kind of starts up. And so I thought that was a pretty neat opening shot, and I like that they used it for the poster originally too, because it's like, oh yeah, that's like the beginning. Like we all have our first memories, and that feels like like Mason's first memory to me.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. I just struggled with this one, I think. I liked a lot of this movie, and then I really didn't like some of it. And I think what I really like about it is, and I think what it is it's a technical achievement. Filming a movie over 12 years is, it requires a shitload of commitment. It requires a lot. You have to keep people locked in. I read a story about he put his daughter in a film because she, was always singing and dancing around the house. And I imagine he was like, and she's going to be with me for the next fucking 12 years. So I can put her in the, right. So there's that. And apparently at one point she was like, I'm fucking over this. I don't want to do this anymore.
Like,
and he's like, too fucking bad. And then she kind of came back around to it. Right.
And that's real life.
I didn't really, the movie didn't really resonate with me. I found the book ending of, because what he does is he goes, here, I'm going to open on this kid's life where he's contemplating his future. And then I'm going to end the movie where he's fucking stoned off his ass with some girl he's just met and he's contemplating his future. And everything in between is kind of, it's just moments or snapshots of tropes of a life, right? There isn't a lot of connectivity between it, and there isn't a lot of depth to it. I didn't feel like there was a lot of depth going on. You know what I mean? Like you could smell her hooking up with her professor. You could see it coming from a mile away. They get together. You could see him as soon as the fucking alcohol thing came in. It was like, oh, yep, there we go. And it just seemed to kind of be very surface in that respect. You know what I mean? Like there weren't a lot of big highs and there weren't a lot of big lows. There were just kind of these quick snapshots of his life. But at the same time, I think it was a hell of a technical achievement. I really admire him for taking the swing and doing something like this for 12 years. I just wish that he had told a different or more unique story.
Well, I think that's a lot of us feel about when we look back on our life, that we wish it had been a more unique or interesting story, but that's just life. That's what life is sometimes,
Well, but when I look back on my life, I don't see my life as a series of like, I don't know. It seemed like, I know we all have common experiences, but the thing that makes those experiences different is that we are experiencing them and influencing them with our own input, right? And it just didn't seem like that was what Mason was doing at all. Mason seemed to have life affect him instead of him affecting his life at all. And I get it as a little kid, that's definitely what happens, right? But even in his teenage years, right? Like what happened with the fight in the bathroom? We don't know. Did he fight those kids? Did he avoid it? We don't know because there was never any kind of follow-up. It was just the trope of, well, I had a problem at school with some kids.
But that's the thing you remember
there's no
about
substance
it,
to it.
When you think back, I know for myself, that would be the part of that time I would remember, is that initial being fucked with in the bathroom. I might not remember as clearly everything else that happened later. Like, to me, this movie, it's made up of moments that are essentially like the memories that you have, like being fucked with in the bathroom, or the first time you found something dead, or if you had a life anywhere close to what I've had to deal with alcoholic step parents, and where that it's all just going to come to a head, or like I didn't have this life experience, but I bet there are some people who are like, and that was the last day I ever got to see my adopted siblings, type of thing. And that day would be the day that you'd remember, is those moments. To me, it's like he captured memories on film in a way that I've never seen anybody capture. It feels like how I store memories. So for me, it worked exceptionally well.
I mean, it seemed to hand wave it so much. He moves, right? He moves with his mom, and he doesn't even tell his best friend. His best friend doesn't know. His best friend's just like, bye, waves at him.
And that's that memory of that. That was the last time we ever saw that kid, and that flash in his head. I have memories like that.
Well, that's great. But I mean, for a 2 hour and 45 fucking minute movie, I'd like to see more than just snippets of memory. I'd like to see an actual story. And this isn't a story. It's just 12 years of, like you said, snippets and memories of somebody's life. And unfortunately, it's not really the highs and the lows. It's just kind of I bumped into those kids. Did you fight them? Oh, let's move on to something else.
Well, because that's what it's about. It's about, as soon as things settle in, it's the next year. And that's how fast life goes, to where the most poignant part of the movie is at the end, where Patricia Arquette was just crying, saying, I thought there would be more time. Because even as an audience member, it's like, damn, we're already here. And I almost feel like a parent having watched all of this happen. And now it's like, now he's grown and he's out of the house, and you always thought there would be more time, but there isn't, because time goes so fast.
But that's an adult's perspective.
Well,
when you're a kid, shit takes forever.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, shit takes forever. Getting from first to second grade takes forever. Getting to high school takes forever. Getting through school takes forever. It fucking takes forever, period. Because kids are all about immediacy, immediate emotions, trying to control their emotions, trying to figure out socially where they are, right? And so everything takes forever, and everything's immediate, and everything's, all these massive crashes and these massive highs, all this drama. Where the fuck was that?
And it's
all I kind of got was just, Mason kind of bumbling through fucking life with these, incidents. His dad being the fucking rock and roller with the fucking hot rod was just so goddamn, it's just such a trope, man. And it seemed like, honestly, it seems like a trope from the 80s that he kind of, it really feels a lot like self-insertion, like Linklater's like, this is actually my life. I'm just going to tell it through a new lens. Here's what I experienced. And it's weirdly, it's very like, I'm the main character. This kid is me. Which I just didn't really enjoy it.
I also feel it's like it could be called girlhood or motherhood or fatherhood or sisterhood, because it's all their stories too. It's not always just from Mason's perspective. Like, there's the spot early on where Ethan Hawke is talking to, I guess, what is it, his grandmother, and Mason's not around. So obviously it's more of just the whole story and not just him. The things I find the most fascinating about the movie is you can't buy this level of production value, because people try to make movies about the past and they have to recreate the past. But what we're have happening here is the past as it's going. I mean, in year 2, look at that computer that he's using, because that was real at the time. You can't recreate that Astros game. You can't recreate that midnight Harry Potter. That's real.
Yeah. It's a very neat, that's what I'm talking about. From that lens, it's very neat. Like the achievement of that is very, very fucking cool.
And that's
right. Like you can go back and watch 12 years of that, you know, and I think that's what resonates with people a lot with Boyhood is that there's a lot of nostalgia to it. There's a lot of accuracy, like you said, in the production, because they're shooting it in real time through the 12 years. We're watching the kid grow. We're watching them get older. You know, that's great stuff. Like, but it's just the story just kind of lets me down. The writing choices are adult choices foisted onto a character who's a little boy. Divorce doesn't suddenly make you smart or give you wisdom. It mainly confuses you and leaving you wondering if it was your fault, if you're the reason that so-and-so left. Right. And so I never saw anything like that. I never saw Mason deal with his divorce. I never saw Mason deal with a lot of the things that kids have to fucking deal with.
Mason's a millennial, right? See, he's a different age group than us. It's funny. I look at my 30-year-old coworkers and I feel a different light to them now. I'm like, oh my God, you're like younger than Mason. And you know how a lot of them their emotions are different and how they connect with things or don't talk to people. Maybe there's a slight generational difference with him too. It's weird to think it's been 12 years since it came out. So now Mason's like in his early 30s. They're actually putting the movie back in theaters briefly this year for the 12-year anniversary. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. I like the 2008 Star Wars discussion about they're not going to make any more Star Wars movies and stuff. And it's like, oh, how funny when you look back at some of that stuff and how things have changed, you know. And I also thought, you know, maybe they did find their estranged siblings again one day through social media and stuff, you know, because it's like, oh shit, we're never going to see them again. We lived with them for a couple of years and then suddenly, oh shit, they're just fucking gone. But the movie never taps into that. But I always wondered, did they ever find those people again?
That's funny.
And it always seems like it's the present, but then the next thing you know, it's a memory before you realize it. Just like life. I mean, this is a movie that I always wanted to make and never knew how to do it and never would have had the ability to do such a crazy thing. And so when I saw this movie, I went, oh my God, I'm glad somebody did this because I wouldn't have been able to do it. And I guess it's kind of like how some people love David Lynch and other people don't understand some of his work. And it's because, well, it's somebody else's different dream or somebody else's memory, and it might not connect. But there's something with this movie that just feels like it sprung from my subconscious.
It's, you know, again, I like what he did technically. I think you can see the story coming from a mile away. I think the tropes are obvious. And,
yeah, I don't think it's about the story. I think it's about the experiment of the 12 years. Yeah.
No, I mean, but again, at damn near 3 hours, you got to give me some story. You know, I mean, I could see maybe 145 doing this memory thing, 2 even. But at 245, give me something to latch onto. Give me some story. Give me some characters. Give me something going on, right? It's fun to see the liquor store clerk from Dazed and Confused in it. To me, it was, you know, again, angry white racist liberal, the white Obama loving lady. It's all these just kind of tropes.
The more things change, you know, right? When you think about
the mom who's got terrible taste in men. You
well,
know,
that she does have bad taste in men. Yeah,
Mary's yeah. Well, fuck, both these. There's not really a decent man in this fucking movie.
No. Even Ethan Hawke is still kind of shitty.
Yeah. Because I mean, he's not that great of a dad. I guess. The format seems to be that Life with Mom is the reality and the story time with Dad is about, you know, charting and personality reveals, you know, and that became kind of tiresome where it was like any kind of growth we'd see in the kid would usually come from hanging out with Dad, and then any kind of trauma or any kind of life shit was living with Mom.
Well, that's how he remembered it, I think. Yeah, it makes sense because she was always... she wasn't there because she was supporting the kids, right? She either had to go to school or become or work or.
I think she, and again, it would have been nice to have some fucking context or some talk about it, but I think that she intentionally dove into her work because she didn't want to fucking deal with her 2 kids. And she married this fucking guy because he had money and it was supposed to be, you know, he had 2 great kids and he turns out to be a fucking asshole. Because of course, you know, I don't know. I have a note here that says it's not Boyhood, it's Tropehood. It's just a lot of tropes, you know. And I'm starting to realize that Linklater for me, when he hits, he really hits, and when he misses, he really misses. And when I connect with him and his work, it's great, and when I don't, I really struggle with it. And this one was kind of half and half, where I was like, okay, I really like some of what you're doing here. I like your concept. This is fucking cool. Watching this, like you said, watching the tech and watching the years go by, watching the kid grow up, all that stuff is very, very cool. But I'm also not seeing a story here. I'm seeing flashes of a life.
But that's what the story is. It's the flashes of the life.
But there's no substance to it. There's no plot. There's no storyline. It's just flashes of a life.
But there's plenty of substance in flashes of a life, I think.
I mean,
it's a
I
series
think,
of memories. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. But that's not a series of memories. Isn't it's not a story.
I think it is.
I came to watch a story about a kid going through Boyhood, not to see flashes of his life. I don't know. It just didn't connect with me.
One of the things I really like about the movie is when it changes from year to year. Sometimes I think it had switched, but it had switched 3 minutes ago, or it switches right after that, where it kind of, for me anyways, it kind of tricked me into thinking, oh, is it the future or is it the past still? So I like kind of the seamless transitions. I also appreciate that they don't write the year on the screen every time it switches. It just switches.
Fuck, I wish they had, honestly, because honestly, it's hard to tell this. It's hard to see this kid kind of growing up for a while.
I think
he still
it's
looks
an illusion.
like a kid.
That's why I'm saying,
and then suddenly he's 12, and then
that. Yeah, you can tell by the hair a lot of the time, especially if you look at Patricia Arquette's hair. It's a real dead giveaway a lot of the time, because it's like, oh, she'll have a drastically different haircut and spots. I guess she shot all of Medium in the time that this movie was filmed. It's kind of bizarre.
Yeah, I don't know. It felt like, a lot of the television shows I watched growing up, bits and snippets of things, only without the story. The Alice's, the One Day at a Times, the single mom struggling to find the good man, the kids trying to cope, I don't know. I just really wish that we had seen something else about this kid, something else that was different other than, I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was, and it's not 12-minute chunks. It's roughly 12-minute chunks. Sometimes it's longer and sometimes it's shorter. But they're basically these chunks that are about the chunks of life that make you who you are, the standout parts in your memory. It's almost like watching your life flash before your eyes, in a way. I thought that was pretty fascinating, because especially the in real time, no other movie can replicate the past that way. Another good example is a Fever Pitch, right? Because they were there, and then suddenly the Red Sox broke the curse, and it's like, oh shit, that's real. And that is just, you can't buy that level of production value. It's pretty fascinating, I think.
Well, I mean, you're filming in real time in your real situation.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it's production value, but I understand what you mean.
It would be if you tried to recreate it.
Capturing it. Yeah.
It's also,
and that's the cool part. That's the part I like. That's the part of the stuff I really like.
It's funny because Birdman beat it for Best Picture, and that's another experimental movie, right? It's all one long shot. But I was
going to say this.
I'm like, Birdman.
We talk about Birdman from scene to scene.
Whiplash should have beat Birdman, I think, but that's just me.
This thing did the Birdman moving from scene to scene and not giving a fuck even more than Birdman did. Whereas, like, figure it out,
And it's an IFC movie because it started in 2002 when IFC films were still a thing. So that's kind of strange too. Like, they're very lucky that nothing happened to anybody while they were making this, or because it would have just derailed the entire thing. Then they managed to get 12 years and get everybody to come back every year. It's like shooting 12 mini movies. Such a crazy experiment.
One of the things and finally I got a little bit of it was at the end. There's a kitchen scene at the end where the parents actually talk and have a conversation. And that's probably for me the most substance of the movie that felt real and had some real substance to it and felt like real people talking in real life and not a trope or a thing, that worked really good for me, but I mean, 2 hours and 10 minutes into this movie, and I'm kind of exhausted as a viewer. And here we are going into the city for college nightlife and all this shit. And what are we doing? We're going to see a bluegrass band. It's like, oh boy, you know, it was an exhausting movie to get through. Honestly, it took a while for me to. I mean, I watched it all in one go, which it was tough to get through, because by the end of it, I'm just like, man.
It does take a lot out of you getting all that 12 years all at once. You know, it's just,
yeah,
it's a ride. Yeah.
I was ready for it to be over. You know, I mean, it felt longer than 2:45. It felt 3.5.
Well, there's that takes forever when you're a kid, right? So I guess it is kind of in there a little bit.
Not really. It's also, it's a weirdly voyeuristic film. I find it very strangely voyeuristic for the director to put him to self-insert and, you know, do that with this kind of once in a lifetime type of project. It feels a little indulgent. Like I said, I liked it, but I didn't love it. And the length of it will probably keep me from future viewings, probably, because I'm not one to break movies up and watch them in pieces usually.
Yeah.
And so if I'm going to watch 2:45, it's going to have to be something I really, really want to watch again.
Yeah, this is only the second time that I've watched it too. So,
but I mean, I've been pretty negative about it. I apologize. I do like some of the movie quite a bit. There were some great moments, but I just really, really wanted more substance to my story. I wanted it to be a little less predictable, a little less tropey. It just felt like I've seen this movie. I've seen this story before. I've seen these moments before in other stories. Why can't I?
I've seen these moments in my own life.
Sure. I mean, but I don't go to the movies to watch the same, you know, I don't want to go to a movie and just kind of watch a kid go through the same shit I went through. I want to see him do something a little bit different and maybe overcome it. And I definitely would like to see some resolution at the end instead of just the bookend of him staring off into the fucking distance, you know?
Well, we all want resolution in life sometimes, right? You don't always get it.
That's why that's one of the reasons we make movies. No. Is to tell stories that resolve themselves, right?
Not always.
And I get that this was a bit different. But
so
yeah, it is.
Did anybody, they didn't do it to me, but did anybody ever force you to get a haircut that you didn't want? Because I knew people that it happened to. They showed up and it's like, oh, fuck. I can cut my hair off. Now, obviously, we knew in the movie that guy was a dickhead and he didn't like Mason. They always had argumentative relationship, but I just remember things like that. I guess the closest we can think of is one day we went home and my brother suddenly had that haircut and it scared the shit out of us. You know, we were like, what the fuck? You went extreme with that haircut.
Yeah, I think my stepdad shaved my head when I was like a little kid, but I don't remember it. Honestly, it was I think I was 3 or something. So
nobody ever threw a glass at me at the dinner table, but I've certainly had moments that were equal trauma.
Sure, but you know what I remember about those moments? I remember them being way more fucking terrifying. That scene is not terrifying. Where's the terror? That is a terrifying fucking thing for a 12-year-old to go through, 10-year-old to go through. And instead it plays almost,
I think
it plays flat.
I thought it
plays flat. Yeah. I just, I didn't feel like it was there at all.
It gave me a little PTSD actually. So
it felt so,
that's okay. Not everybody has had, the same
just emotional
thing happen
as surface. It just, I don't know. I mean, I get that. Again, yes, when I saw it happen, I was like, oh yeah, I've dealt with, I had alcoholics in my family. I've seen that type of shit. But I also remember it being much more traumatic and much more frightening. Not, oh, let me throw a glass and walk away. Fucking drunks don't throw glasses at people and walk away. That's not how it fucking works.
How about hanging out with the slightly older kids and all that bullshit, right? Where they're throwing the sharp things into the wood and telling the stories. And it's like, I know it is a little tropey, but it's still very kind of realistic in that way. And the first kid that gave you the beer or whatever.
Well, and the key is, look, I don't mind, I get it. Tropes are building blocks for storytelling, and there's a commonality in our experiences. That's why we tell stories, and that's why you see a lot of that type of stuff. but the job is to kind of overcome it and make it something unique or different or new.
Well, that's
And
definitely
I feel
this.
like I feel like the only reason that it feels new is because of the gimmick of the 12 years. If you don't shoot this over 12 years and you put this story in as just a 2 hour and 45-minute movie shot in 3 fucking months with different
You
actors
couldn't
or,
make that
aging them
story,
and shit
though.
like that, sure you could.
Well, that story
You
was
just,
evolved over the 12 years, though. It wasn't a script that they came in and shot all at once. Like you're saying, if somebody remade Boyhood based off of the movie and shot it all at once, it probably would be a little dull. But
yeah.
movies need their certain frameworks for them to work, We can't reshoot Project Hail Mary as a rom-com for little kids. It's going to feel different, right?
Well, I'm not talking about changing the feel of it, but I'm just talking about the fact that I think that the reason that that a lot of this story, problems with the story, in my opinion, get overlooked, or at least that the film is working, is that it's done in this 12 year fashion.
Mm-hmm.
If this story is 2 hour and 45 minutes long and shot over 6 to 9 months using multiple kid actors and aging the adults, I don't think it gets this kind of recognition.
No, because it doesn't. Its feel is gone. Its realism of the real time is what does propel it a lot.
I just didn't work for me. But I admire the swing. I admire the technical achievement of it. I don't think anybody was bad. There weren't like any bad actors or bad cinematography or anything. I just really wanted more story, and I was really hoping to see something with a little more high and low.
Well, I wrote a review of this 6 years ago when I first watched it, and I'll go ahead and read that because I still kind of feel the same way about it. 200 years from now, film historians will look back on Boyhood and recognize it as the truly single greatest masterpiece ever laid to film. Life in real time, capturing time and motion, the combination of narrative, documentary, and abstract. Linklater has achieved the ultimate in filmed expression. For Boyhood is the essence of life. It's not my favorite film, but I can't deny its utter brilliance. I still think this is the greatest movie ever made. 5 stars. Like I said, it's not my favorite. It's not something I can revisit, but the way it touched me on such a deep level that I know it's not going to hit everybody that way, but it did for me.
Yeah, I'll give it 3. I would probably give it 2.5 because I'm probably not going to watch it again. But
your choice is not that unusual. This movie is kind of polarizing. So
for me, it's a film of little to no actual consequences. And by the time you actually see any consequences, the film has moved on from them to move on to something else.
And that's life. Boy, I wish we had a little more time to make sure
that isn't life. Life has consequences, and those consequences affect your life. Well, but we don't see that here.
Well, we do though, because everything that happens leads to the next year. You might not be able to wrap it all up in a bow, but those elements move on.
We move on to a new year. Mm-hmm. But what we don't see is how the consequences from the previous year affect the new year and then affect the year after and so on.
I think
we just see new snippets. And that's that. Well, for me, that's that. I feel like that's where they're just didn't work. But I can see why people like it. I can see where they feel like it resonates. I get it. For me, I'd hope for more. And again, I'm starting to realize with Linklater that, like, for me, when he hits, he really hits. And when he doesn't, it just doesn't work for me. Ends up being a well-made film that doesn't have any kind of emotional resonance. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'd like to agree with, you know what I mean, but I can't because I don't know what you mean. I feel differently about it. So.
Well, no, I'm just talking about movies in general. You've had movies that have no emotional resonance, right? Like where you're just like nothing, right? And so that's somehow, for some of Linklater's movies, that's what I'm saying is they do that.
But you lived through those years. It didn't affect you revisiting those 12 years in any way? It didn't take you back to where you were in different times in life, either as a kid or through those Obama years or anything?
The Obama years and stuff, no, that didn't resonate with me. But being a kid and going through some of that stuff resonated. Sure, like you said, being in with the older kids and throwing shit, that type of stuff. Sure, but I just felt like storytelling wise, I didn't get the follow up and the impact that would allow it to really emotionally resonate with me. I'm not saying that the elements weren't there. Again, tropes and storytelling blocks are there for a reason, but you got to make them, work. This worked for a lot of people, including you. It just didn't work for me. I found it very tropey. It was weird. I was just like, yep, trope. I can see that coming. Yep. Like I could see the dude coming with the drink at a mile away. I could see her hooking up with her professor the minute that he gave her the nod when she came into class late. Like, they're fucking.
Oh, well, we knew that was going to happen.
It's just, it's one easy guess after another, right? So it's not surprising. It's not giving any real twist. It's just kind of like, well, here's what happened.
Well, you always used to say, been there, done that back in the day. So it makes a lot of sense to me, actually.
But yeah, I mean, look, it's not that I'm emotionally dead and didn't feel anything for the movie. It's just that it just didn't work really well for me. I would watch that over the Before series. If you were like, which one do you want to watch? I'd be like, put that fucking Boyhood back
It's better than the Before movies. And strangely enough, Midnight was made while Boyhood was being shot.
Yeah, that's weird. So Ethan's making a movie. That's really strange.
Mm-hmm. Totally strange. And no, he did not make Boyhood Part 2 over the last 12 years and surprise us with it. He's moved on to things like Where'd You Go, Bernadette and stuff. So, which was also a good movie. Well, I'm glad we waited to do that one. I didn't want to bring that one on very early. I wanted us to talk about a bunch of movies. And then Moonlight was like, okay, because Moonlight kind of was that Boyhood-esque. You see what I mean about how
I do. I do.
Like, okay, well, now's the time to talk about it. Yeah.
That's a perfect extraction because in Moonlight we get to see the consequences, right?
Mm-hmm.
We get to see how he got to where he was. But in Boyhood, I feel like there are real highs and lows missing that formed that kid.
Moonlight won the best picture and Boyhood didn't. But they gave it to fucking Birdman over Boyhood. That seems weird to me. Birdman's not bad, but
Birdman's great. Yeah, we may have to bring it on. I'll also say this. It is human nature to try and block out the good, the really low, and try and remember like the good stuff and that type of thing, right? Like there's a thing there. But I feel like as a filmmaker, he needed to give us the highs and the lows to really make it, for me, right? But I also understand, again, I understand why you like it.
Yeah.
I do. I really do.
People are going to look back at that and go, that's a real Half-Blood Prince midnight sale. I remember people from my job going to that midnight sale to buy that book. It's just so weird snapshotty memory. But anyways, we could talk for 2.5 hours about this.
Well, it was a long movie.
It is a
3 pages
long
on it.
Movie.
And I don't think. Yeah, I think we basically.
Yeah, I think we did
cover
well on that one.
Yeah. We did pretty good. I mean, you're right. If this had been the first 10 episodes, I probably would have been like, this fucking goddamn thing.
We weren't ready to jump into something like that early.
Go back and listen to the early episodes, kids, if you really want to hear me tear into something. I've learned some of my manners have greatly improved since episode 138. But anyways, that brings us to Project Hail Mary, right?
So what happens when you cross the right stuff with 2001? The answer could be, what is Project Hail Mary?
Project Hail Mary 2026 PG-13, 2 hours and 36 minutes. Science teacher wakes up alone on a spaceship. As his memory returns, he uncovers a mission to stop a mysterious substance killing Earth's sun and realizes that an unexpected friendship may be the key. This is directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, written by Drew Goddard and Andy Weir, who wrote The Martian. Stars Ryan Gosling, Sandra Hüller, and James Ortiz. Get your storyline here. Middle school science teacher Rylan Grace wakes up on a spaceship light years from home with no recollection of who he is or how he got there. As his memory returns, he begins to uncover his mission to solve the riddle of the mysterious substance that is causing the sun to die out. He must call on his scientific knowledge and unorthodox ideas to save everything on Earth from extinction. But an unexpected friendship means he may not have to do it alone.
Oh, I think I watched the wrong movie. I watched Half Nelson, where he plays a crack-addicted middle school teacher. No, I did. I have seen that one before, but I did not watch that one instead. I watched...
Oh, that's the one where he teaches wrestling, right?
Yeah, right. And he got a nod for that, I think.
He's a good actor.
So we're back to shifting aspect ratios again, your favorite. But they do it in a
Yeah.
weird way this time where, like, his memories are streaky through the widescreen, you know? I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah, I like a lot of the choices they made
They're the
here.
Spider-Verse people, aren't they? The directors.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I read this book, and I'll say that to me, The Martian is a simpler story.
Mm-hmm.
Guy fucking gets injured on Mars. His telemetry's cut off. They think he's dead in a sandstorm. He wakes up. He's alive. Okay, got to figure out how to survive on Mars. How do I get home? But Project Hail Mary is very different, where they're like, all right, we got these weird little things. The sun's dying out. They toot scoot so you can use them for propulsion. We're going to build a big fucking ship. It's going to take forever. Oh, by the way, you're going to run into an alien. Oh, it's not our star. It's a whole different star in a whole different solar system. So of course you're going to be in a coma for 3 fucking years. It's a whole thing to get to, but it's the smart part is how they decide to tell the story. Mm-hmm. They wake him up right in the beginning on the ship. He's fucking can't remember who he is. He's got no motor function. And so you kind of get to laugh at him as he gets his shit back. And then we start to understand slowly who he is, right?
Yeah, slowly is right. 22 minutes in, I'm bored to tears because it's so samey. Just send him off. The part where he's flashing back until you find out how he went, I really think that could have been trimmed down so much, because the interesting part is once he's up there, I thought. And so every time we go back to have more of the, oh yeah, it's just like, come on. But once they get back up there, I'm really enjoying that part.
Well, I think they did that to kind of show,
one arrival. Yeah.
one of the things that they do, that Andy Weir does with his stories, at least the last two, have been that he tries to apply some hard science to it, right? And so I think this was the opportunity, because throughout the book, it explains, a lot more in detail about some of the stuff he's doing in the lab on the ship and all that shit. And I feel like they felt like they, rather than have Ryan just narrate what he's doing on screen while he's in the spaceship, they put the science in the beginning, right? But I could see cutting 5 or 10 minutes. I really, really liked the part where she sings. I thought that was really kind of a cool moment.
I'm bored by all of that. Yeah.
I think she had a pretty good voice, and I thought that was a pretty good scene. And especially the fact that, like, I like her because she's in the book. They don't say it in the I think in the movie, but in the book, she's like, you don't understand. You're going to go to space, and I'm likely going to be prosecuted in 5 years for everything I've done. Like, I've broken so many fucking laws to do what we're doing, and I've been, had world leaders, bent to my will and shit to get this done. So you're going to go off to space, try to save the universe. I'm going to go to prison, but she also understands that that's the price you pay to save humanity.
Exactly. You know what this has in common with the other movie?
What?
The Beatles.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's kind of strange, huh? Because he makes that Beatles mixtape, and then you got your
Yeah, that's great. And hey, at least the music isn't disco.
Yeah,
right away.
Really nice use of Sunday Morning Coming Down.
I agree.
I was like, oh, see, now this is, you're picking the difference, and
I was wondering if you were going to like that cut or not, because I think you and I both in our past have heard that song a lot.
Yeah, so. I still like that song. I like the Christopherson version too, so it was cool to not to be the Johnny Cash and to be the other one. Yeah. And then he used to be the janitor at that studio, and one day he showed Johnny Cash Sunday Morning Coming Down. He never had to work another day in his life. Chris Christopherson, star of Blade.
Star of Blade.
And he's in Blade 2, but I thought he died in Blade 1. But anyways.
It's nice to see that science runs on candy and crazy experiments. I literally can't imagine being that far out in space alone and trapped in a fucking small can. Even the astronauts who go to the moon and come back, I can't imagine, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'm claustrophobic as it is. I can't imagine being in some small can where I can't, what do you mean I can't watch my fucking Blu-rays?
So isn't there the urban myth that the Winds of Change song by the Scorpions was written by the CIA? You ever heard that story? And that song is in this movie. Yeah, so I thought that was kind of funny.
That's fucking hilarious. Maybe that was for what's her name, Melania Wineship.
This is like a palatable dark star, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good call. That's a good call. Yeah, like a palatable dark star. What did you think about the alien?
Oh, the alien's fun. And apparently a lot of puppeteers used to bring the little Rocky guy to life. And I realized halfway through, I'm like, oh, this is kind of like almost a young adult tweenish kind of movie. The book might be a little more adultish, but the film felt more like, I'm like, oh, once I realized that, I settled in a little more and kind of went with it. Yeah.
Yeah, they really leaned into anthropomorphizing Rocky and making him likable and all that type of stuff.
Right.
And
It's that ET thing, right? Too. He's not going to die. Of course, he's not going to fucking die.
of
He's
course, he's not going to
ET.
fucking die. But it's funny in the book. So, Rocky saves him and then crawls back into his little habitat that he's made in the ship, and he's not moving in the book. And the Grace is like, "Fuck, dude, I think he might die." And he sees like he's got fins on the back of his back, like he thinks they're like breathing apparatus, right? And they're covered in black, and he thinks it's carbon from having to breathe oxygen and being in this different atmosphere. And so he gets a high-powered tank, and he somehow figures out how to use it to spray those fins off. And Rocky 3 or 4 weeks later comes to, and they're talking, and Rocky's like, "Did you spray me with something while I was out?" And he's like, "Yeah, I cleaned off your fins to save you." He's like, "Yeah, that damn near killed me." Like that black covers them when I'm damaged for a specific reason. And he's like, "Oh shit." So yeah.
That's very
so I thought that was a great moment in the book. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I really like about this movie?
What?
No loud bass. It puts it so far ahead of things like Arrival for me, because there's none of that. No, it didn't play it that way. And I'm like, thank you. Maybe we've gotten past that era of obnoxious loud bass to create it's a film. Yeah,
different atmospheric attempt, right?
With space, I thought maybe it could go that way, and they don't. The subwoofer kicks in a few times, but appropriately. I like the mix.
I like the score a lot. The drumming, the sci-fi like tone at times. It's fun, yet it's also grand and sort of hopeful when it needs to be. You know what I mean? I thought that was really, really well done. What I really like is, again, this when he finally meets Rocky, and again, some of this hard science where they're talking about how would you communicate? Well, you'd start with math, right? You'd start with numbers. And this brilliant idea to just be like, he's just pointing at shit and going, you, me, and just recording what it says and assigning words to it, right? Until he finally gets it right. And what's cool is that in the book, he actually, during one of the mishaps that they have, he has become so proficient at just listening to Rocky's trills, because Rocky kind of sounds like a bird whistling and all that shit, that he just communicates with him. Like he doesn't need the laptop anymore. He can just listen to Rocky talk and he understands what he's saying, which I thought was pretty cool.
It's like R2-D2.
Yeah, kind of like exactly like C-3PO and R2-D2. That's a great fucking. You're on fire tonight with these comparisons, man.
Well, here's another comparison: prestige television as a theatrical format. The lines between prestige TV and a blockbuster movie, they're kind of blurred nowadays. And this film, I felt like it had a little bit of that long form content in it, which is such that long
kind of 5-act-ish.
Yeah. And then you get to the end credits, and it's like Amazon pictures. I'm like, these end credits feel like it's made for video, but it wasn't. No. Maybe this is the fancy version of a made for video movie nowadays. It's a lot better than Dragonheart: A New Beginning as far as
no shit goes. I mean,
we don't make them like that anymore. Yeah,
it's a $200 million budget.
Yeah,
so that's a lot for a made for video, but yeah.
So are Game of Thrones and things like that, right? Just those end credits had that kind of. This feels made for
for like your like prestige television. Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
Oh, okay. The lines are blurred here.
Yeah, we can't just. One of my favorite lines in the movie is, "We can't just show up in a space ball unannounced and move into someone else's spaceship," right? Like, I love that. Rocky gets to a point where he's like, "Dude, no, we're doing this. I'm living on your thing.
Right?
Give me space. Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah, it's the only way they're going to be able to make it work. So it's just like. Yep. And he's like, he can't talk without it. Or who are you talking to? All that shit's great.
That's fucking great.
That's the stuff I'm loving.
Look how far away I am. You can seriously hear me. I can hear you.
And I guess they need to break that up a little bit, But yeah, But as it
Well,
went
it's
on, I started to enjoy it more and more. But in the beginning, I was like, "What's going on here?" And then I'm like, "Okay, I caught
mhm,
the tone." So,
mhm, mhm. It's nice that I love the tape measure bit
oh yeah,
where he gets in the tape measure and like he realizes like, oh, you can't see that. That's cool. Okay, I understand that your vision's different than mine. Um, but I love that he, I think of course he would be fascinated by that. What the fuck is this? He's an engineer, so he's
hmm
like, well, look at this is cool. I thought that's really neat.
yep.
I also like the trying the different voices bits where
Oh
Ronnie's like,
yeah,
oh, I don't
yeah.
like that.
So they
Like,
figure
no,
out
I don't
which
like
one
that
is
either.
his. Yeah, and then they're gonna make you cry later with this voice. Just watch.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and the saddest thing to me is the whole sleeping thing,
Yeah, it's
right? Where he's it like that's a really poignant thing where
ET
he's
turned
like,
gray.
yeah,
I'm like, you're not gonna get me, movie. You're not making me cry over a rock creature because I know he's gonna pop back up.
yeah, yeah. But it works. I mean, the emotionality's there, I think,
hmm
and especially if you like you said, if you're 10 or 11 and you go to see this with your dad, like like I did with ET with
hmm
my dad, yeah, you're crying.
Well, the emotionality, right? It's like it reminds me of the Deacons I was listening to this week,
It's
where I
the principality of it, man.
was telling you
The
about
emotionalities.
the guy who was saying, you got to have your budget, your lookbook, and one of the other things one of his instructors told him was, "What's your character's wound? What's
Mm.
the wound of the character? Because every character has a wound that they're carrying around with them, and that's where you get your development from." And so it's like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Actually, the more I think about it, you can apply it to everything. And this guy's got all sorts of wounds. So,
Well, he's in. You find out later on he's a coward, right?
hmm
Like he in the book says like when he finally the memory hits him because the book does the same thing.
yeah,
Like you'll be reading and then suddenly he flashes and his memory is kicked in and he's remembering another piece. And you find out that the shot she gave him is that it does that intentionally,
right,
right? But he flashes to that moment where she says, you've got 2 hours to decide, and he goes, yeah, I decided I'm not doing it. And then he fucking tries to climb the walls and run
hmm
and all that shit, and they taser him, and she
nope,
condemns him to death,
like you're going.
and
But he
yep,
doesn't, though, because it brings
and
up
that's
some
true.
interesting questions like, oh, we got your ship ready. We can send you back home. Oh, does that mean we can go like back and forth? Can we communicate with each other? Can we like meet up again? Or, well, I guess you'll find out in Project Hail Mary 2.
Yeah, I've heard two's already in the works.
Oh, shit. Well, it's like E.T. in Close Encounters if you got to go to their home world, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
this is what Richard Dreyfuss is doing. Don't feel so bad about him. He's teaching rocks
And
how to read.
there's a great Close Encounters. There's a great quick Close Encounters moment. Remember where he goes, dun, 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 dun.
Oh,
Rocky
yeah.
immediately goes, dun, 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 dun,
And
dun.
he's like, no, you're pointing. You're pointing at the thing back
Yeah,
there.
he's I'm
I'm
in.
not
Okay, I'm
tapping
stupid.
along
Yeah.
with you. He's like, he thinks I'm dumb. He thinks I'm stupid. Or
Oh yeah, there's that one where he's like the first throw to him. He's like, they think I'm stupid.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
Yeah, that was a pretty fun movie. I can see why people like that so much, and yeah, it sticks with you. The more you think about it, the more fun it is. Watching it
Yep.
again, I'd probably enjoy it even more because
Mm-hmm.
I'm realizing why that flashback stuff is there, and it's like, okay, this is just for the structure, and of course you can't reveal things until it's time. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah,
it's one of those movies where the more you watch it, the more you're going to get out of it, I think. So
yeah. I do love I love the look of the planets. I love the Petrova line shot. Remember where he's standing outside of the space vehicle, and they change to you see all those
that's why I say it's 2001 mixed with the
It's
right
beautiful.
stuff, right? Because it's like
Mm-hmm.
space
It's really
training,
pretty.
but it's trippy space, right? And then you got a little
Yeah.
ET sprinkled in there for good measure.
Well, and just visual. The planets look great.
Mhm.
The visuals look amazing.
Yeah, I never
I
saw
really
Spider-Verse,
top flight.
but I take it
Oh
it's
God,
their type of.
yeah. We'll have to bring that on the show. You haven't seen Into the Spider-Verse?
No, I was
It's
afraid it was going to make
interesting.
me sick.
Yeah. Well, we may have to try it because it's not 24 frames per second. It's like
Maybe I'll
18
take
to
some
give it a
Dramamine
comic book
first or
style.
something.
Yeah. So it might. I don't know if it'd mess with you or not.
I've heard it's great, and after watching this, I'm even more interested in it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad you like this. Now I feel bad I didn't enjoy his Boyhood as much.
No, movies are movies. You
Yeah.
shouldn't feel bad or good, or it's just we come on here to say what the movie made us feel, and you're speaking your truth, and that's what makes the show interesting. I hope.
That's right, people. Don't get mad at me because I didn't like your movie. I'm speaking my truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really enjoyed this. I want to say this. I think Ryan Gosling. I get it. Some people say that he tends to play kind of a lot of the same characters in movies at times.
A lot of actors.
But I think all actors do that.
Yeah.
But I think Gosling is like he's like Emma Stone. He's a triple threat.
Oh, you mean La La Land?
I just
also
mean
back
he
in
can
theaters. Yes.
he can sing, he can act, he can dance.
Mm-hmm.
Which are old school. Those are old school Hollywood traits. Like if you came, if you came up through vaudeville, you knew how to sing, how to act, how to dance. You're probably all three, right? And even in the 40s and the 50s, it was damn near required if you were going to be a star. And so these triple threat actors don't exist anymore. There aren't a lot of dancers or actors that you can put on a stage, and just go, okay, dance for me, and it looks anywhere near realistic.
Well, he'll always be young Hercules to me.
I hear you.
Among many other things.
I mean, he's always going to be that kid from Mickey Mouse Club who was on. I think he was on. What was it? The Rising Star movie show.
Oh, he was a Disney kid.
Yeah, he was a Disney kid. Yeah, and he was on. Crap. What's the Ed McMahon show?
Star Search.
Star Search. Yeah, I think he was on Star Search.
Wow, with Geechee Guy.
Geechee Guy. So $200 million for Project Hail Mary. Boyhood was $4 million. I have to say, for a $4 million movie, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was $4 million.
They must have been just scraping that thing together every year to our little project that turned into something. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. I just wish it was just a slightly more. I just wanted a little more.
Yeah, I wish we had more time.
And I got it from Project Hail Mary, right? Which was like, it gave me those highs and lows. I do love I think you're right. The music cues were great. I love the fact that they call them George and Ringo, and then they do On Our Way Home. Mm-hmm. It's a little on the nose, but it's kind of perfect.
Now, what do you think of that weird Beatles mixtape that Ethan Hawke made the kid in the Boyhood movie?
I liked it.
I was going to say, I almost feel like looking up the playlist and just listening to it to see if what he's talking about it really flows,
Yeah, I mean, again, there are parts of that movie that really work, and then but I guess maybe I'm just greedy. I wanted more of the highs and lows and just show me this kid's real struggles, right? And instead he seemed to kind of smooth through his life, right?
Mason was kind of shut down a little bit emotionally.
Yeah, emotionally kind of shut down and kind of just went through it. And again, he things sort of happened to him rather than him taking steps. Like there's a point in the movie where I didn't bring it up, but he says it was basically like, I want to be an artist, but I'm afraid people will laugh at me. And it's like, bro, okay, that's probably the most honest thing I've seen in the movie so far. Build on that a little bit. Give me a little bit more of that. You know what I mean? And
I really like when his boss when he's doing dishes and he basically tells him like, no, man, you gotta fucking focus, and it's like, oh, somebody's giving him some real good advice here finally. Yeah.
The other one is the hard work speech.
Yeah.
I think that's the one part of the movie I would tell my own kid to sit out and watch and be like, listen to this motherfucker right here. Because this dude is spitting truth. The most truth in this entire movie is coming out of this guy's mouth about hard work. Period. Opportunity is hard work, or luck is opportunity and hard work fucking meeting, right? Like if you don't put in the fucking hours, why should you get the fucking brass ring, man?
I also, another part I thought was kind of humorous in a way is when the second alcoholic boyfriend is giving him shit on the porch. And he just kind of walks in because he's like, you're going to be fucking gone, dude. We've been through this before. And sure enough, it's the next year and that guy's fucking gone, man.
That was good. Yeah, that was good shit. Yep. I mean, but again, I could see it coming.
Yeah.
But I did like that piece. I really did like that piece. But back to Project Hail Mary. I like The Martian better, but I think this is right up there.
I like this more than The Martian. Yeah.
Really? Okay, interesting.
Yeah, this was,
even with that first 20 minutes or so?
Yeah, because overall I felt like it was like he took that and he improved on that type of story, I thought, Like I still like The Martian, but I like this more. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say that he does have an affinity for writing these endlessly optimistic people, or people who tend to persevere with a
Mm-hmm.
certain level of gallows humor. They don't seem to the odds don't seem to ever make them truly crumble, right? They always seem to come back with renewed determination and almost a sense of humor about
Mm-hmm.
it, which is admirable traits,
And
very admirable traits.
it's funny because a lot of time in life, doing the right thing ends up fucking you up. But in those movies, doing the right thing always works out. Well, in The Martian, doing the right thing does end up fucking him a few times, like when that tent blows up and shit. But,
Yeah,
you got to
yeah.
have some obstacles. But ultimately, going back to save Rocky ended up helping everybody. So
Yeah, it did, and I love that ending.
mm-hmm.
I was
Like The
wondering,
Martian, we got a slingshot back around, and so yeah.
yeah, but just this idea that okay, we're going home, we're going to save Rocky. We could have just ended the movie right there. We could have just said they go home,
Yeah, that's
right? And
anticlimactic, though, right?
but instead we go to Rocky's planet, and we see that they've basically built a zoo for him.
Mm-hmm.
He lives in a
Oh
big
yeah.
zoo,
Mm-hmm.
and he's teaching. And what is he doing? He's teaching the same thing he did on Earth, right? I thought that was really cool, and kind of again, almost like Boyhood,
Yeah,
bookends, right?
right. You can skip Avatar. Just pick this one up instead. Much more
Oh yeah, yeah.
interesting.
This is way better than Avatar. Yeah. Yeesh.
I
What do you give this one?
give it a 4.
I'm going to give it a 3.5. I think it's right up there.
Look
Yeah.
at me, like
I might even go 4 in the off season. And talking to you about Boyhood, I might even go 3.5 in our review. Talking to you about it, I think some of the things that I wanted it to do overshadowed some of the things that were good about it.
yeah. It's just such a crazy achievement that it came out good at
It's a
all. Is
it's a cinematic achievement
yeah.
as far as I mean, that part is like Richard Linklater. If you ever hear this and you think I'm a dick and I don't like your movie, I absolutely admire the shit out of what you did
Yeah,
with
you
that
gave
movie.
it
I
a
really do.
3. I mean, it's not like a shitty rating.
No, 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 no. It's just I wanted more from it, and again, I think there are times when he really resonates with me, and then there are times where I'm like, meh, like where did you go, Bernadette? And then there are other times where I'm just like,
Right.
nah, this doesn't work.
Yeah, when I think back to Boyhood, I think of probably about a dozen or so of those flashes, those moments, and how I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, I've got those moments too, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just so weird to see
Mm-hmm.
that captured so accurately to my own brain. It's almost eerie. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But I could also imagine somebody who's not from this country might have a weird take on that film. It might not relate to them at all, or maybe it would, right? Because there are similarities in life, but
I think its greatest gift probably is going to be assuming that people watch this type of entertainment in the future, say 100 years from now,
mm-hmm.
they can look back and say, this, while this is fake, here's a kind of a decent representation of what a kid's life was from 2002 to
That is true.
2014,
Right down to the
16.
Coldplay. Yeah.
As far as as far as the culture, the music, the story, yeah, some of that stuff may have been universal, but that's not the important part. The important part is look at his surroundings, listen to the music, look at what he's wearing, look at what's being driven. All of that is accurate.
Yeah. It can't help but be. Yeah, the cars,
Exactly.
the
It's
clothes,
exactly to the time
the
period,
weird,
and
ancient Macs. Yeah.
it's a strange time capsule that he's given
Mm-hmm.
the future.
Yeah, it
And
is.
that's a very cool thing.
It is a strange film, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. And in a good way, not in a
Mm-hmm.
bad way.
And yet, still elements of Slacker are still in there too, which is funny how
Dude, I tell you, my biggest laugh was seeing the guy who runs the liquor store in Dazed and Confused in this
right.
movie. I was just like,
Oh, he's in
yes.
here all the time. That fucking check all. And I'm like, oh my god, just the flashback of shit that
With me, it wasn't liquor; it was cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
My babysitter when I was 8, she would sometimes run out of cigarettes and drive me across the street to the store, and she would hand me a note with money. Well, she would just hand me money in the beginning, and I would go in, and finally, after 3 or 4 times, the manager's like, "We can't. You're a kid. We cannot fucking sell you cigarettes." And she got pissed.
I came in here and gave me a fine earlier today for selling a minor cigarette.
She stomped in there and bought the cigarettes, and then she came back out bitching. And then the next time we went, she wrote me a fucking like a handwritten note and gave me the money, and that worked.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were just like, "Oh, sure," like yeah.
You could have just gone somewhere with a cigarette machine and pulled the knob and got him out that way.
Yeah, just take me to the Mrs. Grace, take me to the bar real quick. I'll just run in there and grab some smokes. They were more expensive at the bar though.
Oh, that you pay for the convenience.
Yeah, and they may not have her Virginia Slim 100s that she liked to smoke. Well, that's a good episode, man. I have to say I enjoyed watching both the movies. Yeah. I wanted more from Boyhood, and I kind of struggled with it at points, but it's not like I hated watching it, Right. And then Project Hail Mary is just a likable fucking movie.
Yeah,
you put it on, and you're like, this is a likable piece of shit. God damn it.
So, what do you got for me next time?
Let's do Married to the Mob.
Okay.
Little Demi.
Yeah, I remember not liking that, but we'll see what I feel about it now.
Well, then you can sit there and bitch about it for.
Or maybe I'll go, hey, I was completely wrong. This is delightful.
Yeah. This was wonderful. Michelle Pfeiffer is a joy.
It's more Matthew Modine, too.
We love us a Matthew Modine on this show.
Okay, so I'm going to give you comedy.
Okay.
The Wrong Missy.
The Wrong Missy?
Yeah, it was a David Spade movie for Netflix, but I can't remember her name, the actress, but she plays Denise on Big Bang Theory. Stewart's co-worker at the comic book shop, and I always heard that it was supposed to be pretty funny, like she's supposed to be pretty good in it, so I'm curious about that one.
Well, cool. All right, so The Wrong Missy and Married to the Mob.
Yeah. See what kind of connections we get there.
I wondered, I was going to say, I wonder what kind of connections. I'm already thinking there might be some sort of connection there. You want to get out of here on a quote?
I think I'm the only girl in the whole school who doesn't like the Twilight books.
I hate squash. Later, man.
Later. Don't miss an episode. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, and keep listening to the show on the app of your choice. Do it now.